All right. Hello, Speed Gaming. Welcome to another match in the Metroid Prime Mentor Tournament here. Got hawke59 versus Khaemere. I think I'm pronouncing that correctly. Uh, Pretty excited to get the start. I'm not quite familiar um, with these racers. We do have a lot of
I'm
new
gonna
people
try
this
to
tournament, but I am excited to see,
not
like,
forget to do my timer this time so that I don't have a whole restream where it's just a zero.
yeah, that is important. It seems one of our racers is
Mm-hmm,
hot micing, so we are going to get that fixed here in a
mm-hmm.
second.
I know.
But yeah,
Oh, let's do this. Hint system off. Helmet lag on. Helmet lag off. Helmet opacity down. Back. Then display
the
screen brightness
This is
all
just
the
going to
way
be
up.
a regular race
Okay,
settings.
good. And I did it
Just
in
gotta
time.
swap the
Okay.
audio. There we go. All right. Anyways, sorry about that. Let's get this show on the road. So again, normal start, normal settings, landing site, beater settings, all the good stuff. So we're gonna get immediately start with space jump first. Obviously, got this that dash to the right. Uh, Now, this is definitely a very good trick to learn for beginners. It's probably, arguably, the trick you want to learn first in this game. Uh, so, just gotta throw our attempts there. Getting good scan dash, all about getting a pressing B for as little time as possible and letting go of L at the right time. Khaemere getting it there, nicely done. hawke59 going to be following up shortly after. We're going to get started with just a missile launcher, okay. That gets us instant artifact temple access, won't really have to worry hints at all. So, yeah. We did tab out at the possibly the worst time to not see without was missile launcher. But we do see bombs under the ship, so we are going to have to come back for those as soon as we get morph practically. So yeah, missile launcher, we get into Artifact Temple, getting to Chozo. It would be pretty nice if Morphball was just here in Artifact Temple. It would make it so we wouldn't have to backtrack for quite a while. But we'll see. Not quite sure. And then we get to see the Great Artifact Temple load. This room takes it's probably the one of, if not the longest loads in the game, especially when you're on emulator where it loads just a bit slower. Looks like Hawk needs to curve the dash back or send a little further back on the ship. We do have Various suit at Artifact Temple, okay. We will not mind that whatsoever. So, once again, regular settings. So we have 6 artifacts here, all of them require text to the Artifact Temple. And I am curious to see if our runners will read these immediately or later. Okay, we're gonna get immediate read from Khaemere, so let's write these bad boys down. We got Sun Chamber, okay, Flogger is required. Ruined Gallery, alright, not a big deal. Ruined Shrine, alright, not a big deal either. Overgrown Cavern, just an Ice Beam requirement. Main Plaza, and Fiery Shores. Okay, these are some very easy artifacts. I didn't quite expect that. Okay, so at most, this means that we're gonna need supers just in case it's in the tree, but besides that, there's not really many requirements we need to get these artifacts. So what we're really worried about is this phase unsuit in the beams. So yeah, space jump first is it's definitely a trick you want to get down. It it really teaches you a lot about scan dashing just in general, and it has a lot of different methods. The further back you stay on the ship, you less need to curve it, so it can just be a straight scan dash, but the more in front you are, for lack of better words, the more you're gonna have to curve it backwards. And just depending on how confident you are with it, you can do it quicker or slower, however you'd like. Yeah, it does look like Hawk could be improving on that B press. That is one of the most unspoken parts about it, is that's mostly what matters. You can also argue for letting go of L, which I believe is 7 frames. After you jump, you want to let go of that. But the B press is just so important. Now, Transfer Tunnel B, just a vanilla missile expansion, nothing we really have to concern ourselves with. But we do get this out of the way immediately, so now we can just move on to Chozo. We never have to come back here, unless we get Space Jump Boots, and then we might try and get the upper item. So just to clarify something to chat, the Space Jump first trick here to get Alcove is logical. This is considered beginner scan dash. I wasn't sure, I didn't catch whether or not that was missile launcher, but if that was missile launcher, then that may be pretty important, because that may be our only access to missiles, but not sure yet. Oh, it's expansion. Okay, so this isn't logically required anyways, but it's hard to tell, because it is logical and is your very first check you can do. So yeah, now we move on to Chozo cleanup. I am curious to see how players route this. There's a lot of different ways you can route going to Chozo with missiles. If you had Morph Ball, you can maybe do it a little bit differently. I personally like going to check Ruined Shrine first, but I'm kind of in the minority with that. I believe that was a nothing item on Grapple Ledge. Another missile in the Half Pipe, and that's the artifact on Vault Ledge. So, no supers requirement just yet. We'll not have to worry about that. Okay, so we are going into this part of front Chozo first. It's pretty standard. You don't have to worry about trying to get Ruined Shrine without Morph. So we get Ruin Gallery, Hive Totem, and Transport Access North here. One of those is probably going to be Morph Ball. Okay, Ruin Nursery is a missile. Don't have to worry about that. It is arguably better if the artifact is in the tunnel and the wall here is not that, because that means we will know that we have to backtrack here, rather than have to worry about the Schrodinger's check. Fortunately, it is down here, so we're not going to be able to know what's in the tunnel for now. Yeah, got our wasps. Some of these enemies in early Chozo can decrease your health substantially if you're not careful. So I do also want to highlight the mentors for each of these racers. Hawke59 being currently mentored by Baja Blood, and Khaemere being mentored by Lenophis. Definitely well-known runners. I am interested what Khaemere is doing. I think she is trying to get the setup here for this Ruin Gallery clip. So these peaks have just been really... They've been implemented pretty recently. They were found. Oof, did not quite look at the right angle. Or maybe they did and I couldn't quite see it. But certain things, like shooting the blast caps there, can cause your camera to sort of jolt backwards, for lack of better words. It's actually the same case with all the super combos. And recently players have found the spots you can stand on where the camera will actually clip out of bounds a bit. And yeah, you can actually see Ruin Gallery and numerous other checks that we might see later on. In the meantime, we have Morph Ball here on Hive Totem. We are going to attempt to skip the fight by doing a scan dash, trying not to get too close to this bridge, since the fight trigger is on the bridge. It only extends just a tiny bit out of it. Just need a good dash. Oof, looks like Khaemere didn't have a good B press, and you also don't want to look to the side. So you want to basically have the stick at neutral after you've done the scan dash, or you can try curving it for extra speed by holding forward or backwards after the dash. But it looks like Khaemere is just going to do this the old-fashioned way of fighting Hive Totem. It's not something you get to see very often, but it is nice to visit Hive Totem every now and then. Oof, nearly got the wasps on one cycle there. There we go. Hawk still unfortunately having trouble with space jump first here. Does still look like it is a problem with the B press. May also be letting go of L a little too late there. And there we go. Hive Totem is down. Now we have Morph. And just a missile after that, so probably go check Vault, get the artifact on our way, check what Rune Shrine is, and maybe head further in Shozo. Or at any time we can choose to warp to start to go and grab those bombs, maybe do for a crash site if we're feeling confident. Well, it's up to our runners. Right now, Khaemere going into Vault first. Now, we're not going to be able to pick it up, but at the very least, we're going to be able to get the intel. I think it would be pretty annoying if it was actually Space Jump, because then that means we would have to do the whole forward loop again, albeit that does mean we can get Schrodinger's check on the way, so we don't have to worry about that. Alright, Vault, what do you got for us? It is... Ooh, Ice Beam. Okay. Interesting. That's very early. Alright. So... what does that mean for us right now? So, probably want to leave that for later. Would going to Lava Lake there be an option? It would be an option, maybe, because you could warp to start. Because it looks like Khaemere is going back to Talon through the front here, which is much slower than warping to start, and you could arguably go to Magmore, to Lava Lake, see what's there, and then warp to start. But you may end up just backtracking there anyways for Ice Beam and Ruin Gallery. That is if Khaemere was not able to check it. I wasn't able to see. But if you do try to get Ice Beam before you get something like Space Jump, then, you know, going down for that then would be kind of a time loss. Although Hawk has decided to drop doing Space Jump first, is going to keep going. Now, we do actually know, or actually, now I think about it, so I think Missile Launcher has to be Ruined Shrine then. Or no, because it's blocked by missiles. So what is... Oh, I think I think it's either Nursery or Ruin Gallery that has to be Launcher then. That's funny. Okay. But anyways, there are bombs. Now. Where's Launcher? Do not know. But it is either in Ruin Nursery or Ruin Gallery. How do you properly do Space Jump first? It is a combination of letting go of L at the right time and pressing B for as little time as possible. Okay, nice grapple beam for a crash site. That's quite funny, because having grapple beam for this and no space jump, you can actually get the item using a beginner movement trick. Pretty ironic. Khaemere is going to try this slope jump here. This is an advanced slope jump in the database. It's not an easy one, but if you have a good understanding of how slope jumps work, you should be able to get it to work. Khaemere got really close there. It's a tough one. Oof, not quite. I'm personally more of a fan of the scan dash into here, but that's more so for a preference. Plus, this is also very good for recovery if you don't actually get the scan dash. So if Hawk will not be going to Alcove, this means that they are going to have to get Morph, go back for bombs, and then go and get Launcher in either Ruin Nursery or Ruin Gallery. Khaemere isn't quite getting us, I think. Oh, that looks better. Getting close, but not quite. At the moment, it didn't look like Grapple Beam was necessary for anything. I believe that was a Metroid on the grapple ledge, so it shouldn't be a concern. Hawk is also going to try and do this Hive Totem skip here. Oof, unfortunately did not quite get it there. He'll also be fighting Hive Totem. I do respect the dedication for trying to get these tricks, not giving up so easily. Because sometimes the best way to learn something is just to keep trying it. So, after we get grapple, what do we want? Right? So, probably Ruin Shrine cleanup. We can't get the upper item. After that, we could go and get Ice Beam. The only thing is that going into Magmore is a possibility with this loadout. I don't know, it's tricky. I always have a lot of problems when I try to go to Magmore right after only doing some pretty basic Chozo stuff, because I have gotten punished with like space jump and watery hall or the like when I try to go to Magmore early. So I always try to make sure to clean it up. But we do have quite a bit in Magmore. We have Lower Fiery Shores, Storage Cavern, Churchill Tunnel A, even Findrada Canyon. There's stuff we can do there. So it is a little open. But normally my go-to is just finish with Chozo, move on to Magmore, finish what you can there, move on to the next. Sort of, it's some pretty basic routing, but it works. The Hawk is going to be working to start here. This wasn't what Khaemere did. This is a much quicker way of reaching landing site and getting back to where you need to be. So I did notice someone in chat said that they preferred holding their back to the slope, like Khaemere just did. Wow, okay, I just summoned that, didn't I? And a fun fact about that is that regardless of what way you're facing, Samus's model or collision will almost... Oh, that was really close. Samus collision will always be the same. Samus is actually a perfectly static 3D rectangular prism, regardless of what way you look. Khaemere is getting very close. So that means whatever way you're facing a slope does not affect it, but it can be easier to hit the slope of the right spot depending on where you're looking, just for reference. Also, Hawk managing to get Space Jump first there, nicely done. Gonna be rewarded with a missile, finally. Missiles are very important. There can be some pretty bad missile locations. I've seen my fair share, but just gotta do a slow jump out of here. Also, Khaemere finally gets the grapple beam. Well done. That is not an easy slow jump. It takes a lot of practice to do. Did I get a new microphone? Yes and no. This is a different device I'm using, and it sounds better than what I normally use. So yeah, you get to hear my ostentatious voice even more. So now Hawk gets to clean up everything, Ruin Gallery, that is, the missile checks, even after having Morph Ball Bombs. So this probably means that they are going to be able to get Ice Beam on the first trip. Is the old early SJ bomb jump in the database? It is. However, that is an expert bomb jump, if I remember correctly. Either that or hyper mode. And it is really advisable to do numerous other methods instead, I'd say. We've got the POW. If you don't have Scan Visor, you can do the POW Scan Dash. If that is locked like in a door rando, well, for one, if it's a Blast Shield, you can do Space Jump first anyways. Or you can do a Bunny Hop to the ledge. There's a lot of different methods. Alright, so Khaemere is going this way, so I'm assuming that she's going to do Magmore now, which is interesting because we have left the only part that we've of Chozo that we investigated has been sort of the Hive Totem side. So Ruin Shrine is completely unknown. The rest of like mid Chozo, we are going to isolate. It's tricky, right? Magmore into lava lake into ice. That is a possibility. The only thing I would advise against is that I feel like you are going for the less chunks of checks to route in something that won't do you much good until you get like space jump, right? Because even if we get ice beam now, that only means that we can do far chozo, which isn't exactly something that logic normally likes. Well, easy does it, Khaemere. Sometimes going through this lava with not much health can be a little dangerous. Oh, it's just tricky to kind of justify getting ice beam soon. But if Space Jump is here in Magmore, that could be very good. Alright, so there's the Fiery Shores artifact. So that grapple beam is going to be very useful for traversing of this lava. Yeah, the artifacts were quite early. We are pretty pleased with how they went. I personally want to get this artifact now, just because I feel like there's a pretty high likelihood we're going to come back here with Space Jump, and getting it with Space Jump is much easier and also much safer. Oh my goodness, that was so close to falling off. Oh my goodness, that could have been tragic. But we're alive, we're good. By the way, I didn't mention it before, but I just want to say thank you to Op for tracking, hitting all the buttons. Great tracker, really appreciate it. Alright. I did not see what was in Shore Tunnel. Samus's gigantic arm cannon was blocking the way there. Okay. Khaemere opted to just turn around. I think she's a little afraid of those turrets. This is the missile expansion in Shore Tunnel. I think she did just want to check that first, but you can actually check it through the crevices on either side. Now we have to be careful here. One shot won't kill us, but two definitely get us close to death. Yes, optimal tracker. Optimal tracker. Jeez. English is hard, folks. English is not a great language. It's not an optimal language. Alright, so Khaemere not going to check Transport Tunnel just yet. We're gonna see what's in the storage cavern, and also what's here in Triclops Pit, although getting it is another story. That is just a missile in Fiery Shores, so we don't have to worry about that. So Hawk instead did choose to go back into Chozo. So Ruin Shrine is just a missile. We can get whatever's in the other part of Ruin Shrine here. We can try and see what's up, but it's pretty tough. So skipping the fight trigger here, we can do a scan dash over it. It's not a big deal because we have bombs, so we can just bomb jump our way over the half pipe to leave. We'll be trying to do a... Oh. My lag help. Did the stream die? Oh. Okay, I can see the stream again. Are we good? I'm seeing Khaemere's gameplay, so I'm going to keep on going. But, so, storage cavern, I'm not seeing anything of use. We're not using space jump, so I'm assuming it was not important. So, we just move on with our lives. We get to see what's in Lava Lake. We will try and see if we can get Hawk's gameplay back whenever we can. Oh, there we go. Oh my goodness. That's scary. Okay, please do not die to the beetles. These guys, they can gang up on you. Okay, X-ray visor in Lava Lake. Not useful, exactly. But we'll take it. Just gotta be careful here. There we go. There's a little part of the standable there that you can jump on, and you can use a slope jump. Plated beetle there, just gonna stand still because of cutscene skips. Now, we do not actually have to do this fight. We can do a bomb jump to leave. But it is an option if you'd rather not do it. We do have grapple and X-ray, but we need space jump to actually do root cave, even if we have both. Doing it without space jump is very bad. Very bad and very hard. So here's the thing with going through Magmor backwards into Chozo is that we have to go through quite possibly one of my least favorite rooms in the game from someone who is a connoisseur of going fast in this game is Burning Trail. That's because you really just have to wait for all these platforms. If you have space jump, you can use standables to make it easier, but those standables are kind of finicky. And this does take a good chunk of time. It's usually why I prefer to go through Magmor from the front. Or if I don't go Magmor through the front, I just try to avoid routing in this room as much as I can. It's not the biggest deal though, but it just will maybe test your patience a little bit. All right, Hawk taking a safety save here. I do highly recommend if you're somewhat new to Prime or if you feel like you're at risk of soft locks, deaths, etc., just save. It doesn't lose much time and it's always gonna save you time in the long run if you do end up messing up somewhere. So now that Hawk has bombs, we can see what's here in the gallery tunnel. So Khaemere is going to be getting Ice Beam now. Not going to do us any good just yet exactly. We can logically go too far, Chozo, but we can only get all the others there. It is interesting logic. When you have Ice Beam here. Okay, that was Launcher in the gallery tunnel. But it is interesting when you have Ice Beam early and before SJ when you're still in Chozo. Because the way of scaling up the spider track in Furnace is beginner. With or without space jump, it doesn't matter. And the rest of the bomb jumps up are beginner bomb jumps. So, I don't know, maybe we'll see some very interesting logic today. We may even see space jump in the middle of ice. That could happen. We just need boost ball. And yeah, launcher and gallery tunnel. We have to go get morph ball, go back for bombs. Oh, careful with the ions there. Those guys can melt your health. But we had to go get morph, backtrack all the way back to landing site for bombs, then come back again to get ruin gallery launcher. That is true, Jeff. We need to be able to activate the slots, which does logically require spider ball. Because I'm pretty sure the stand ball and the peg, even if you have space jump, is intermediate. There's Schrodinger's check. Because Khaemere decided to go out of her way to check it, it was not progression, as you know it to be. Oh, the stand ball's beginner. I see. Metroid Prime's primary database maintainer extraordinaire, not knowing beginner logic. That is good to know. Thank you for sharing. So, Hawk also going to be getting Ice Beam on this first pass, once again. So that's one thing to note, that Khaemere is morphing before going to these Scarabs, and that's because there's an interesting property with Morph Ball where you have some amount of invincibility frames, and when you're unmorphed, you don't have that same luxury. And if you run into Scarabs while unmorphed, you will just take heaps of damage. But if you're morphed, it doesn't matter. And plus, most of the rooms that Scarabs are in, you want to be morphed in anyways because it's faster. So I highly recommend just making that a good habit of just rolling through those tunnel-esque rooms. Okay, Khaemere also trying to do the fight skip there. Unfortunately, the dash was not quite good enough, so we are going to have to deal with these beetles for now. Once again, you can choose to fight these guys. You can bomb jump over to grab the item, which will unlock the tunnel, or, excuse me, I should say, remove the invisible barrier from the tunnel. And, you can also just bomb jump over, whatever you prefer. So Hawk is actually going backwards here. Looks like they want to go to Magmor. Yes. Okay, there's our Ruined Shrine artifact. Still not going to know what the Upper Ruined Shrine artifact is. So now's the time you want to just do mid-Chozo. There is still technically a chance that Hawk may go into Transport Tunnel A and find some like space jump there, or even go all the way to Fendrana Canyon and find space jump there. As unlikely as that is, it is logically doable and possible. So we'll see. It could be some crazy logic. We are going to check truth as X-ray. That looks just like a missile there. Nothing to worry about. Khaemere is unfortunately being bullied by bees? I can't do it as well as Captain. Props to Captain for doing that, though. He can nail it. Alright, Hawk is going to encounter this X-ray. If the missiles will cooperate, there we go. Now, getting this without the space jump is a little sketchy, but is trying to figure out how to go about doing this. You can also scan dash to it if you prefer. We can have SJ on ghosts. That is an interesting thing about fighting ghosts and getting the item, is that the only thing you need is power beam, logically. Which is pretty funny. Alright. Fortunately, Khaemere stream lagged a bit, so I did not catch what was in Ruin Fountain. Hawk is going to be able to pick up that X-ray. And we get to finally do our mid-Chozo section. Again, another room that you preferably roll through. Fourth ball is just a lot faster than normal movement speed. If you're very confident with movement... Oh. Hawk stream unfortunately lagged into a death in Lava Lake. That is okay, though, because he did save him Burning Trail. This was not too big a deal, but is going to lose a little bit of time. Watery Hall access, just another missile. So, where's our progression? Right now, all we really need is Space Jump, but we could also go for Wave Beam, or Boost, or Spider. Maybe a combination of them could unlock some interesting Holy Others logic. So this room with the scan points is a little interesting. You have a lot of ways to navigate it. Personally, I enjoy turning away from the door to this room after I've shot it, just to be in the right spot to scan that as I go through. If you're confident, you can also jump to the platforms behind you while you're scanning it. Just makes it so you have to do a lot of turning around. Also, good point, KR. We have not found any E-tanks, which is a shocker, to say the least. They're usually pretty abundant, which is interesting. So, nothing quite good in Watery Hall. We're gonna just check lower dynamo here. Okay, there's Spider Ball. That's a start. Hall of the Elders is now very logical. Oh, easy does it there, Hawk. Thermal Visor. Okay. That's not what I expected. We have both visors already. So... Thardis, I guess? That's the only logical conclusion when you see Thermal Visor. Or Frigate. It is weird to see them this early. It's not very common. Hawk is going to be pushing further into Magmore. Again, if Transport Tunnel A was something important, could be really good. Is going to try and do a double bomb jump over this. This is slower than... Huh, I didn't realize that top railing didn't have any collision. It is slower than rolling through, but you don't have to worry about the Triclops. Yeah, just a missile. So let me review. So now that we have Spider Ball, Spider Ball just allows us to activate the slots. If we find Boost Ball, we could end up having. Well, I guess we need supers. Is the idea of Crossway having something important. And yes, we need Spider to get out of Thardus. Getting into Thardus, we don't need that for. Although, since we do have Grapple Beam also lets us get out of Thardus. Khaemere unfortunately took a fall there in Watery Hall. This room can be a little challenging to scale quickly, especially if you don't have Space Jump. Okay, now I get to see what Storage Cavern was, which was just a missile. And yes, Wave is needed to actually get to Thardus at all. Get to that part of Fen at all. Sort of like that semi-mid, late Fen portion. Okay, so at the laggy stream, we are going to be going to Zoid. At least, which should be Zoid. We can do Zoid, and then we can check Furnace, and we'll see maybe if Khaemere considers late Chozo. We will see. Alright, Zoid, what do you got for us today? Okay, just a missile in the back. Nothing of consideration there. So here's a little trick for you trying to fight Zoid and not get annoyed by the flamethrower. You can actually stand you can stand on top of it, but there's a part of its rim right below the top of it that you can stand on, and you can just sit there and wait for Zoid to pop his head out. Also, if I'm not mistaken, I believe I just saw... I'm not sure yet. We'll see. But Hawk is pushing up into Magmor. Are we going to see Transport Tunnel A? Maybe? And just a nothing on Zoid. Nothing good. So, maybe Transport Tunnel A or Fringonic Canyon really is important. We're going to be able to see that from Hawk pretty soon. We're starting to run out of checks. So, Lower Furnace, Hall of the Elders, Transport Tunnel A, and Fringonic Canyon are currently our last spots available. Oh, and I guess also Ice Ruins East now that we have Spider. Hawk is going into Fen without that, so that is not going to be something I can do. Well, don't forget about that check, Hawk. Okay, once again, when you go through these rooms, you can try to roll preemptively, so you don't have to wait for the morphing animation. Oh, Hawk fortunately took a fall there, took quite a lot of health. Does not seem interested in getting that check whatsoever. Which is fair enough. Probably we may want to consider taking a safety state before doing that. I don't know if SJ on Thardus is possible. If it is, then oh, it looks like Khaemere decided to not go and check bottom furnace immediately. I do know that I have a tendency to prefer checking this item up here before going down below. Couldn't quite see what was up there. These beetles are going to bully Khaemere, though. Now, I believe you can actually use some standables to reach up there. It is just a little tricky. Okay, Khaemere does not seem interested in dealing with that. Is going to go back. Did not see what was in Shoreline's Lighthouse. Chat is saying that there is an E-tank in Upper Furnace. I'm going to stick with that. We can get that if we do an expert complex bomb jump, which I don't think we'll be seeing. I also did not see what was on the Findrana Shoreline's ice, unfortunately. I am also not sure if Khaemere nor Lenophis know if NSJ Hall of the Elders is in Logic. Okay, we are going to see a scan for what's in the lighthouse. Okay, so I had to watch some playback because I was unfortunately lagging a little bit, but yes, that was an E-tank up there. Oh, spaceship was just here! Oh, the whole time. I guess Khaemere didn't check this earlier. That is really unfortunate for Hawk. Okay. So yeah, we could have gotten that as soon as we got bombs. Yeah, that happens sometimes. So I guess Hawk's only real saving grace is if something really big is in one of these checks that could maybe unlock some, like Plasma Beam, maybe something's in Elder Chamber. We'll see. Is trying to do a double bomb jump to reach up here. You do have to do a pretty good one to reach up here. Khaemere is going to be checking what's here at the bottom of Watery Hall. Will not be scanning it, just going to go for it. Gets a slope jump first try, and it's a well-deserved E-tank. That is definitely nice to have. We will not be complaining about that, and we can take a lot more damage now. And yes, 41 minutes for the first E-tank. That is not great, but it's something. So now our options are a little more varied. We have Warrior Shrine. We still have Hall of the Elders. We have, let's see. We also have Root Cave. Root Cave seems really important based on our X-ray and grapple beam that we received. We can go fight Flagra. That looks like what Khaemere is going to do. We could do this earlier, but now it's going to be much easier with Space Jump. We can also go do... Well, we can check Mega Pool. We can't get anything there. Okay, it looks like Hawk was just trying to break the ice with a missile there. I actually did not quite see what that was, but oh, it's just a missile. So, no need to worry about that. So now we do get to see whether or not Flagra has the artifacts. And since we have Spider, we don't need to worry about missing out on ghosts or having to do early wild. We may see Ice Ruins East check here from Hawk. Oh wait, he doesn't have Space Jump. Excuse me. The NSJ method of checking it is more tricky. However, it's noteworthy. Geez, note wording. Wording? Note mentioning. Geez, words are hard today. It's worth mentioning that doing ghosts without super missiles isn't actually logical. You need knowledge intermediate to do quote-unquote early wild with Spider Ball. So Hawk's still going in. Right now, our only check available to us that is logically available and easy to get is Fendrana Canyon. Oh, Flagra just dealt quite a bit of damage to Khaemere there. You gotta be really careful with Flagra. She'll mess you up really quickly, even if you're experienced. Oh, that tentacle. Okay, what is that in Fendrana Canyon? I could not quite see it, but it looks like Hawk may want it. Oh, careful, the inverted snow cones are... That looks like a suit? I have no idea. Oh, came here. This wave beam! Oh, okay. That's a find. Both our runners here are in a little bit of a spooky spot. I can't remember if Khaemere chose to save a gallery hall. I hope she did. Still have one more bomb slot left to go on Flagra. Ooh, she got pretty close there. This is spooky. Spooky situation. Alright. So yeah, Hawk is going to have to rescan these. That is something you don't see very often, is that you can rescan these and the platforms will just magically reappear. It's bird magic, I guess. There we go. There's our wave beam. That's really interesting. Khaemere will probably find that soon, though. The only thing that could be possible is if she attempts to stick around. Maybe she warps to start and tries to check Far Chozo. She did make it out okay through that fight, and it turns out the artifact was just on Flagra, and it was not French vanilla, unfortunately. Looks like Hawk is having a little trouble trying to leave. Now there's a pathway you can take. It's how you're expected to leave without space jump if you are not trying to use boost. And you can actually jump up the crates. You can also do this, what Hawk is trying to do NSJ, but it requires some movement shenanigans. There we go. Nicely done. So Khaemere goes just low enough on that spider track there to trigger a layer change that spawns those ghosts. That energy tank is logical. You can get that and leave with no E-tanks and space jump, logically, and beginner levels. It's a little sketchy, but it's pretty doable. Thankfully, this X-ray visor here is going to absolutely trivialize these ghosts. Okay, also like Khaemere got hit there, but took no damage. I don't know how that works, but it did. So Hawk having to be extra cautious around these very angry baby she-goths. Let me taking it nice and slow. And this is the problem when you don't have early E-tanks, is you just have to be much more cautious. Oh, that baby she-goth took it a little bit on the way out there. Just gonna have to be a little cautious around the bamboos. We'll be able to get the drops from the crates. We're having a little bit more trouble with these ghosts than I thought. These guys are sneaky. They'd be pretty annoying. I'm curious to see what's going to be here in Ghosts. I'm going to bet that it's probably nothing useful, because we still don't know where supers are, but this could be phase on suit or something, I don't know. It's an E-tank. Okay, we'll take that. Not progression, but it's very helpful. Alright, so Hawk got out of there okay, took a save. and is going back into Magmor. So the only thing that Hawk can get going back in here, or going back into Magmor logically, that is just Fiery Shores, which we know to just be the artifact. We could also attempt to get Fiery Shores, but that seems a little too tricky. Have we seen Magpool? No. At the moment, it's not logical because we don't have power bombs and we don't have wave beam, at least not yet, to get training chamber access or see what's in training chamber. So Khaemere is going back into Magmor. So we're done with Chozo for the time being. Uh, only thing that we're logically missing out on is Hall of the Elders, but that tends to be pretty unlikely to be progression. Hawk will be trying this punch again. Let's see if he manages to get it. Oof, unfortunately, this time's those bombs placed the last one a little too late. This is in Trickless. This the Metroid Prime logic for Trickless was written with the idea that you could get every item with a vanilla loadout. Some games in Randomizer defer, but Metroid Prime is not one of them. Oh, got it. There we go. Just a missile. So, nothing important. We'll be getting off that last bomb jump just to flex, get that free missile. So, yeah. I'm assuming Hawk is not going to check Warrior Shrines, so we're going to be able to see that on Khaemere's side. I think that's logical. That should be logical with Space Jump. So, now we just have to navigate our way out of Monitor Station and not die, which it could be very easy. These turrets here can mess you up. And if you try any reckless movement and you end up in the lava, then things only go downhill from there. This is definitely one of my least favorite rooms in the early game for 21%, where you only have area and no E-tanks. So now Hawk just has to get back to Chozo. I personally would have just gone back to Chozo via Warp to start. It would be much faster and much simpler. Even though we could check what is in Lower Fiery Shores, and that could be important. It's just we do want to come back here with Space Jump to get Warrior Shrine. Just a little bit more convenient for routing. It does look like Khaemere's stream, her own stream, has unfortunately crashed, I believe. So it's going to be with Hawk for now. We'll be able to have the audio swapped up. This is, again, why we recommend local recordings. They are very useful just in case any technical problems go down. Likely Hawk will have SJ for this, so we can do some sample tricks to make it faster or easier, depending on how you see it. We don't like this Triclops, though, and we don't want to take the risky jump across, so we'll be using this Morpball tunnel this sort of secret tunnel 2.0, I like to call it. So, just gonna opt to get vanilla. So something to point out here is that Khaemere already has 5 artifacts. I'm not sure which one she's missing. Let me just scroll up, find the artifacts. Or it might be on my clipboard. Nope. Let's see. I didn't catch it. But we did see Artifact of Warrior from Hawk. And he's going to... Oh, nope. That was very sketchy. When you get the item, you normally want to roll down to where that other Triclops is. And yes, the last artifact was Overgrown Cavern. Thank you for pointing that out. So we could technically go get Phazon Suit him pretty quickly. On Khaemere's side, at least. Thank you, do not put me on pizza, aka pineapple. Appreciate you writing down the artifacts. So, did go back here in Sun Chamber, but or excuse me, Findrana Shorelines, completely different room. So we are going to have to make our way back through again, but it's not too big a deal. Copy my homework. I can tell. All right, so let's try this again. Magmore sucks. If you're still new to the game, still learning things, and you want to try and go fast, it's really annoying when you just don't have the health to work with here. Making any mistakes is just so punishing. Yeah, we can't. Fighting Ridley right now is pretty unrealistic, but Ice Beam is actually quite effective on Ridley. Uh, I think on Pal is actually preferable. I did see what looked to be a different kind of missile drop on Khaemere's side that you would only see if you're playing the PAL version, and patch. You can patch any file to become a seed or any version of Prime, and it'll patch out a lot of relevant things. But the Ridley fight is one that will still remain PAL. Although I don't remember if you can boost into Ridley, but at the very least, Ice Beam is much more efficient on Ridley on PAL. Oh, Hawk unfortunately got spat out by the Triceps there. Little fun fact about these guys, though, is that you can actually wiggle the left stick to make them spit you out. Nearly also died there. Oof. That was scary. Will be making it out okay, however. Okay, boost does work on PAL. Thank you. I have not played PAL in a very, very long time. All right, and we have made it through Magmore Hell. We can just go back to Town Overworld. That was unfortunately pretty difficult, and that did unfortunately lose the time. But we made it out okay, with a wave beam to our name. So now we just have to book it for that mid-shows portion, get Space Jump. And then once we have Space Jump, we can do a lot just because of Wave and Ice. It is just going to be pretty tricky to route because it's going to be really open. Although we are short on some more ball upgrades and some suits, but that spider ball will suffice for quite a bit of stuff. So yeah, how do you route this? So after you do get space jump, I would probably just go back to Fen as soon as possible. That's going to be where most of the logic lies. We can do a little bit of Far Chozo if we want to, but it is going to be non-logical. Stream did unfortunately die on her end. Yeah, so we are doing mid Chozo first. We do still have. Oh yeah, because we don't have space jump. Yeah, we can't really do much without space jump there, but it looked like just a missile and rune foul, and I wasn't able to see that earlier on Khaemere's end, unfortunately. But yeah, we are doing this part of Chozo an hour in, which is something you really don't want to do because Chozo tends to at least have several majors, even if you've already gotten like very early, as we saw from that space jump. Thank you, Bonsai Beer. Just shout outs to him. He's a SpeedGaming volunteer. He's helped a lot. Thank you for all the help with the SG setup as well, fixing everything. And Khaemere's stream is unfortunately down on her end, so we're not gonna be able to have it streamed. So for now, we will just have Hawk. She will be likely having a local recording, so that shouldn't be a big deal. A Hawk did not see what was an upper gathering hall earlier. Based on the difficulties that Hawk was having in TTA with those double bomb jumps, I am a little concerned with how we're going to be getting space jump, but I think he can do it given enough tries. Missing out on the last scan point is just going to be right below the gate there and to the right of it. Oh, unfortunately did take a fall there. You can't actually scale up and reach the gate without space jump using some sandals in the wall, but they are a little tricky. Okay, I've just received word that fortunately Khaemere's internet has gone down. Once again, I believe they should have a local recording. It's got to be a little careful here in Watery Hall. Again, stuff in Chozo does not hold back when you don't have much E, nor suit damage reduction, even with Varia. We all remember the Scarabs. There's Poison Water, there's Shriek Bats, Angie Mushrooms, Spankweeds. Everything here, it just doesn't like you. And they may not seem like much of a threat, but if you're careless, then they will. There'll be a gradual amount of damage that you take, and soon enough, you're just gonna have to slow down. You're gonna have to get drops, you know. So we did not get Spider Ball, and I'm actually struggling to remember where that was. But at the very least, Hawk is going into Dynamo without it. If Khaemere does go into here, and it's important, with Spider, see what's up in Upper Dynamo, then... Oh, wait, Spider was right here. Wow, I am very dense, excuse me. Jeez. Wow. Okay, now we can get Upper Dynamo, which was Thermal Visor, because I just remembered. We'll have to do standable here onto the pipe or bomb jump up. Nah, Upper Dynamo is Thermal Visor. We found both of them quite early. It was really interesting to find Thermal this early. Or excuse me, I should say both Visors this early. Because sometimes you'll find a Visor early, but having them both early is just odd. Oh, the Firefly bullying Hawk a little bit. This is always why I lay a bomb on my way up, because as you can see with Hawk there, when you lay a bomb, the Firefly will try to get as fast away from it as you can. It's going to be extra cautious not to land on die, although one hit should be okay from it, but we are going to kill it anyways because we don't like it. We would try and get some drops from these crates, but I'm 99% certain that those crates have a 0% chance to drop something. I've never actually experienced getting a drop from that. Someone could double check a drop table and confirm that, but no idea. We could pick up the missile here and get a little extra, but we don't want to risk dealing with the ions, so we are just going to ignore that. We can get some drops here from the crates here. These each have a chance of dropping purple. One of them has a chance of dropping a medium. So, just going to be cautious on our way. Careful not to step onto the mini mushrooms there. Gotta... There we go. Yeah. So it is worth mentioning, you know, you can attempt to improve at movement at this game. You can circumvent a lot of the problems of, like, navigating these platforms if you just have more confident movement. And a lot of that does come with practice, but there's also a part of it is just looking for them. And I know that it's rando, and rando is going to rely more on your routing than your movement. But movement is just a very nice edge you can have. And in Prime especially, they will get you a long way, because they accumulate over time. So one speed strat can maybe save you 1 second, another can save you 5 seconds. But Prime has a lot of rooms, and let's say you do a speed strat that saves about a second over the course of, what, the 200 rooms in this game? That saves you over 2 minutes alone, right? And it gets even more so if you find it that saves like 5 seconds, stuff like that. It doesn't seem like much, but over time it's going to accumulate a lot. So one thing I just recommend for these runners, you know, the mentor tournament's still going on. We are approaching, I believe, the 3rd round of mentor tournament. You know, a lot of these guys, they're starting to learn the beginner tricks. We're learning the, beginner routing, good stuff to know. But the next step I'd recommend is just movement. Learning some room strats, learning L jumps, being able to develop more confidence and just how you navigate the world. Uh, it's a little tricky, and some strats can seem scary or hard. But the more you do it, the better you'll get. And even there's just some basic ones like knowing when to roll, knowing when to L jump, instead of just dashing everywhere, that can still send you a long way. But if you do want to get really good at movement and try and implement those scan dashes, you're gonna have to just pace yourself, take it nice and slow, and that'll help a lot. Just my 2 cents if the mentees are rewatching this, and for anybody else wanting to learn Prime. Now we are going to get the space jump boots here. Hawk did not check it, but we are going to try and get this anyways. So we have to do a double bomb jump here. The problem with Hawk's Stevie J's, or the timing that's making them a little difficult, is that the second bomb being placed is being placed too early. You want to place it at about the same time as the bomb is just going to explode. It's a little tricky. I am assuming we did see the space jump there, so we know we're going to want this. So it's a good point, Renko. We may probably want to get an extra missile in case we want Tower of Light. That is unless Hawk is confident in skipping them, but that is pretty tricky. And we do need exactly 36 missiles if we want to get it. And we have 35, just one short. And we're not getting any drops from that room. At least, well, I think we could, maybe. I can't remember if the plated puffers actually drop missiles. Now, one thing about these bomb jumps, like this one, is that one thing that'll save you some hassle is if you unmorph after getting hit by the last bomb. It allows you to gain a little bit more height than you normally would, and it gives you a lot more mobility in the direction that you're unmorphing than it comparatively to just, I don't know, getting hit by the bomb and holding the direction. Yeah, sort of like that, except you want to unmorph a little bit earlier. You want to unmorph just a few frames, or I'd say about half a second, a little shorter than that, to get a good unmorph. They're tricky, but you can get there with some practice and dedication. The space jump is going to be very important, and it is kind of tricky to say where to route after this, but I personally would try and do a little bit of Farchozo as much as we can. Maybe also consider checking Great Tree Chamber. Can't do Life Grove, obviously. So after that, you could also get Overgrown Cavern right there and then go through the elevator. Or we could just warp to start and get that when we want to go fight Ridley or beat the game. Whenever we want, really. It's pretty easy to get. There we go. Nicely done. That was more the unmorph time. You see, you get a lot more height if you get the unmorph there. Alright, now we have Space Jump. We are free from all the double bomb jump NSJ movement nonsense, and we can actually start going a lot more places. And I'd say we start that with Farchozo. So I'd like to see Zoid, I'm imagining. Zoid is unfortunately not going to be useful, but we'll have no worries about isolating that check later. I do hope that Hawk will be successful in maybe trying to get the upper furnace energy tank. That'll really go a long way here. So fun fact about the Zoid fight here, if I'm not mistaken, the first phase here, I think is the fastest possible time you can actually get for a first phase. And that doesn't happen very often. Those are really rare. Because Zoid can just vary a lot. And yes, you are correct, Toaster Party. We are allowed to continue the race as long as the other runner has a local recording. And regardless of how bad your internet is, you'll be able to have a local recording, just as long as your PC is able to record. Zoid wrapped up. Got to see the, unfortunately, not shiny nothing. So I am curious how Hawk decides to route this. Mainly just after we end the furnace, because we could choose to not go further in, but I think it'd be much more advantageous to do that, work to start. Looks like Hawk may have forgotten that we can actually skip the. There we go. We can skip these cutscenes. That is one thing I really like about cutscene skip is this room in particular, because the puzzle. If these cutscenes weren't just totally skipped, it would be a bit of a nightmare having to wait. At least in terms of RTA. If you spear in this game and you love IDT, then this room doesn't matter. Almost forgetting to check the lower item, but we made it there in due time. Oh, it's just a missile, nothing of note. I'm curious to see if Hawk will try to get the E-Tank that was supposedly up here. We don't have boost or power bombs yet at vanilla, but there are some beginner standables we could use instead. Okay. Oh, didn't quite get it there. He's getting the standable though. That's good. Now we need to jump up to the spider track. The front of it is standable. Normally when I am jumping to the spider track, I usually prefer to be facing it just so I can know where I'm going. Oh, almost had it. It was a little too far to the right there. It's only near where the spider track starts that is actually standable for, I don't know, reasons. Retro Studios. There we go. Nicely done. Now we can jump to where that parasite is, or at the bottom of the spider track, and we can warp the spider ball and claim our E-Tank. There we go. That is definitely not going to go amiss. Oh. Entered that little spot there where you can't unmorph for some reason. Alright, so we are going further. We are going to check Crossway first. Not logical until we get Supers and Boost, but could be important. Just a Metroid. Nothing we are interested in. Alright, now we get to hear some lovely ghost music. And we can do most of stuff here. We just won't be able to see what's in Outer Chamber. We may or may not have to backtrack for Plasma. Alright. So we... Uh-oh. I think I know what happened here. That is unfortunate. Oh, that's funny. Okay, so well, it's time to ping Mr. Miguel, huh? So what happened here, I think. Yes, well, it didn't crash exactly, but I think it was I think that was the last frame of the cutscene that got skipped. You could tell the stream itself didn't crash because the timer's still going. But this is an issue that has occurred with elevators occasionally, where we just get stuck in this black screen. So this will mean that Hawk will have to reset his game. We did. I don't know if he saved in Gathering Halls. This could be could be a pretty far setback. We will see. I believe what happened there is we skipped the last frame of the cutscene there. This is sort of my tinfoil hat conspiracy theory that caused that. Did not save after SJ. Did they save right before SJ? I'm not sure. Don't never skip cutscenes again. Just don't wait to skip them very long. That's the moral of the story here. Redoing the match. The match is still going. I'm pretty sure Khaemere's still playing with the local recording. Hawk is just gonna have to restart the game. It's just an unfortunate bug. It can happen sometimes. School cutscenes are really cool. So yeah, if I remember correctly, hmm, I actually don't remember Hawk last. If I really want to remember it, it would be like as late as, or rather as early as Findrana Shorelines, and as late as just Gathering Hall before SJ. No idea. Right, and we are back in the menu. Okay, we have a Chozo Ruin save, so we are good. And yes, do not put me on pizza. Baha is indeed mentoring Hawk. Lenophis was mentoring Khaemere, but their internet did go out, so they are currently on their phone talking. So yeah, this was just before SJ, so we're gonna be able to get that back real quick. Thankfully, we already know Zoid is dead, so we don't have to go back and fight him. We'll have to once again do this double bomb jump to get space jump. In fact, you can actually do a bomb space jump here as well, if you prefer. It looked like that second bomb was placed, or rather the last bomb, I should say, was placed too early. Oop, didn't quite get it there. Looks like that second bomb is being placed too early. There again. Oh, unfortunate. Was in a little sort of a wedge space where he couldn't move and, or rather couldn't unmorph and unfortunately fell. So yeah, this is good stuff to practice. So after this race, I have no doubt Hawk will keep these tricks in mind and be able to practice them and get much more confident for the next race. Yeah, unfortunately here, second bomb's just being placed too early. Generally, when you're doing double bomb jumps like this, you want to lay your second bomb right after the first one explodes. Okay, that's pretty good. Did unfortunately bonk on the bottom of the platform. Ooh, almost. Almost out of there. Almost had it there. Ah, had to unmorph just a bit earlier there. While these tricks may be described as beginner, there's still some nuance to it that, we can't say they're free. There we go. Much better bomb jump there. Well done. All right, we are free once again. Okay, going this way, not to fight Zoid, but to do the puzzle here. Oh, Lily went there instinctually. It is normal for every single time you come in here to just go straight to Zoid before doing the puzzle, but not this time. Right, we are back here once again at Furnace. Now, we don't really need to worry about any of these checks. This was just a missile. The above was a excuse me, upper furnace was an E-tank, so we'll probably want that, just for convenience sake. Not really for convenience, it's more like health insurance, you know? It's what the Metroid's universe of health insurance is, they just give you more E-tanks. Do this trick again, set the silence wall. This is a unique part, sort of standable, in that it is only just barely big enough for Samus to fit. And when there's gaps that are like that, um, it means that you sort of need to add a certain vertical velocity in order to actually fit in there. So sometimes it feels like that you don't make it in there even though you're sort of right in front of it and you feel like you should. We did get it much faster this time. Nicely done. Get our well-deserved E-tank. And now we can just make our way back to Hall of the Elders and hopefully not soft lock on the cutscene. Or, I guess it is a hard lock, I should say. More or less. Decided not to skip that cutscene for safety's sake. That is fair enough. Also not going to be doing it for this one. Also fair enough. Here we go. Is interestingly going to activate the wave slot first. I don't think it makes much of a difference which way is faster. I'm more personally a fan of doing the ice slot first, just because you don't have to go through the wave slot, fall down, and then have to climb back up. Actually having a little bit of lag, but should fix itself here in a little bit. We also get to see what's in Hall of the Elders itself. Oh, stood on a random standable because everything is standable in this game, and then we fell off and we couldn't move because limited influence. It is unfortunate that we did softlock at that cutscene earlier. Ooh, nice vanilla tank. We will definitely take that. It is unfortunate because Hall of the Elders is by far one of the most, I guess, just affected rooms in Metroid Prime. Or I should say, one of the rooms in Metroid Prime that gets changed the most when you have skippable cutscenes on. Just because there are so many cutscenes, and they can accumulate to well over a minute just worth of cutscenes. And they could be. It's much nicer to just skip through all of them. Unsure what's going on with Hawk, but I'm sure we will continue to see it here in a second. Yeah, we're moving. Now we just get to do a slump jump off a stone toad sort of spike, I suppose. Almost had it. Space jump there a little too early. And there we go. What do you got for us, Vanilla Ice? Another E-Tank. Okay, we're feeling much better now. So now we have a fair amount of decisions. We can go check Great Tree Chamber. That is full in logic. We can't really do much else besides that on that part. Uh, then we could just go back to Magmord, the rest of Phendrana. Gonna be missing out on a few of the ice checks because no plasma. Still have to find that. Okay, Great Tree Chamber is main power bombs. Okay, right next to Life Grove. That is nice to have and a good find. Now we could do Life Grove, but you have to do some pretty tricky bomb jumping. And I do not think Hawk is confident enough. So we're just going to be on our way. So yeah, we can go through here. Just go through the elevator, grab the Orgone Cavern artifact now. We can also get... Which one is Hawk missing? It is Flagra. That's what we're missing. So, I mean, we could reasonably do Ridley right now, but it's a bit slow. We are also going to be isolating that artifact for a while, when at the moment it's pretty free to get, especially now that we have Spireball. So, it's a little questionable leaving that. Well, we'll see how Hawk routes it in later. Right, also about to get Orgone Cavern here. Fun fact, you can actually unmorph in that little space there. You never really have a reason to, but you can. Now, what's interesting is this is actually Hawk's first dip into Frigate Crash Site. He's going to attempt to fight these flying pirates. They are a little bit of a nuisance, but they shouldn't bother you as long as you just, keep on moving. We'll see if Hawk opts to do the slope jump for this, or maybe a scan dash. We'll see. Grapple would not have been of any real use. The only thing that it could have helped us with in our Chozo cleanup was, well, I guess if you had grapple through Magmore, you would be able to skip some of the traversing the lava, so it would have helped there. But logically speaking, it wouldn't have really done as much. It could have given us, we could have checked what was in Magma Pool, but we didn't. So nice slope jump, got it there pretty quickly. I do hope Root Cave is next. I honestly feel like there's a pretty high chance of something important being in there or Arbor Chamber, just because Grapple and X-Ray put together so early is kind of a recipe for that. It's like Khaemere forgot to get a space jump there. This is another thing that I give advice for, is sort of just indecisiveness in general. Is something you want to get better at, or get better at dealing with making decisions on where to go, because there's some occasions where our mentees will sort of stand still and try to figure out where to go. And while routing does get better over time with more your practice, I also always recommend to just keep moving in a direction. Just so you can get where you need to be more quickly, and maybe it'll help figure out where you want to go. So Hawk is not going to check Root Cave. We do have Tower of Light, Tower Chamber, Upper Ruined Shrine, Magapool now that we have Power Bombs, and Training Chamber access, and we can also peek Training Chamber. And we can clean up Flagra on the way as well. And Tower of Light loves to be Tower of Progression, as you all know, or Tower of Missiles, it can vary. But Tower of Light does seem to be a little bit of a hot spot. Also, I did not notice, but Khaemere actually just finished a little bit ago, and Hawk has decided to DNF. Wow, okay. That caught me off guard. I wasn't paying attention, but GG to Khaemere. Well done. So yeah, we didn't actually get to see too much of that seed because of some unfortunate technical issues, but there was some interesting logic. I'll say at least the beginning logic was weird. We'll try and see if we can get them both for an interview. I'm unsure if Khaemere is going to be able to because of some network issues, but we'll see. Yeah, while we wait for them for a possible interview, I'm just going to say all our runners put on quite the show for us. It was a pretty intense seed, I'll say. Khaemere, hawke59, they're going to be doing more mentee races throughout the tournament. There's only round 2. So we've got a few more to go, 4 more, I should say. And then we move on to the bracket stage with the top 8. And, Hawk may have taken the loss, but Khaemere does have some decent potential. We'll see where this goes. Anything can happen. And also make sure to follow Ape too. Thank you for tracking him on the buttons, being patient, being able to see what's what, and not forgetting that thermal visor was an upper dynamo. Unlike me. You can also follow me. I do prime occasionally. I do speedrun this game a little bit. I like going fast. I'm just going to check with our runners, see if they're going to join us for an interview. Yeah, I believe invites did not go through because Khaemere was removed as a runner. I will send you guys manual invites. Hello, Khaemere.
Hello. Hello.
Welcome.
How are
GG.
you? EG. That was a.
Okay. Hey.
Hello. GG. Also, hello, Baja.
Hello.
Got
Hey.
very populated here.
Welcome on in.
Yeah, GG. It's unfortunate. We, with the internet issue, I did
Yeah,
not
it's the
see
second
how
time that's
things went.
happened.
You got that good old local recording, though, don't you?
I sure do.
So welcome, Lenofis.
Hello.
GG's Khaemere.
So yeah, I guess I just kind of had to ask where were our important, like where was Phazon Suit, where was Plasma, all the like. Maybe did you find boosts?
Well, we found boost, but nobody was getting it.
Oh really? Where was it?
You had to fight Omega Pirate for your super missiles to go back up to Research Lab Hydra to go get your boost ball. You were not getting boost ball.
Oh
Jesus.
no! Gee, no. That's yeah. We were not getting that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Plasma
Sorry.
was in Ruined Courtyard.
Okay,
And
that's
Phazon
clear.
was in Boombox.
Oh
Okay.
wow. Okay. If you routed this right, those would have been really fast.
Yeah,
Okay.
we definitely got punished for putting off the Chozo and following the Bari into Magmore.
Oh,
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Is that I don't like leaving Chozo alone. I always try to clean up as much of it as I can before going into Magmore, just because I always feel like it has something, even if Varia is early.
And Kay mentioned this. I felt like we were really late to those space jump boots. Like, you guys must have been really, really late then.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, I don't think you were later than we were. I also had to get them twice.
Oh no.
Yeah, Khaemere and you found them quite a bit earlier.
Yeah, it was. What was it? It was the
It was a gathering hall.
gathering hall.
Yep.
I don't know what happened, but my emulator just froze up. Like it just went black screen on the skip and then didn't do anything else.
Oh,
Yeah, I
no.
think that's a rando bug with the skipple cutscenes. Unfortunately,
Yeah, so it was.
did save in Gathering Hall at least.
Yeah. So I cut a couple things off. There was a couple things when I died. I had a couple deaths. I was saying about how it's just I have not had nearly as much time this week to practice as I would have liked, but I was having a good time. It was a learning seed for sure. Yeah, I learned a lot. I learned a lot of bomb jump things.
Yeah,
See, you're on 5 artifacts. Which one are you still missing?
that was Overgrown. No, that was Flagra.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
Yeah,
I think that's where we were headed in that direction. So
Yeah,
Okay.
did not do that first pass. So, but you were going to be able to clean up most of Chozo. I did feel like, just sticking around in Chozo was probably for the better. It was also kind of debating just generally when, because Lenofus and Khaemere, you all did Magmor before Space Jump. Anyways,
Yeah.
right?
Yes. Yeah. The Fiery Shores artifact. Like we were kind of like going back and forth. Like, okay, so it could be Upper Fiery Shores that's powerbomb locked. It could be Lower Fiery Shores. Like a couple of these artifacts were like, this could route well or this could route poorly. Fortunately, it ended up routing well, and Kay nearly died on the scaffold from Fiery Shores. That was,
Yeah.
that was a little.
I did die on the scaffold. Fire shores.
Yeah, there was a lot of close calls. And I saw Khaemere just like on the very edge, just barely didn't slide off.
There we go. Okay, I am back.
Hello, back.
Hey.
Yeah, so the dream was so part of the reason to push into Magmor there was actually the fact that we had ice and bombs and stuff already. Like if Space Jump was just anywhere in Magmor or Fen, we get to do all of reverse Chozo into Plant. Because we didn't want to do Plant like with no E and no Space Jump. So it would have been a very, very good route if Space Jump was just in Magmor, but unfortunately it was not.
Yeah, those E-Tanks were a little scummy.
Mm-hmm.
They were.
We finished on 4.
Yeah, I think I just got in the 4th. So
Yes. The only ones we saw were like Upper Furnace. Wow, I can't remember, can I?
Sun Chamber Ghost had one that we picked up.
Right, yeah. I guess most of them had to be in like mines or Farfandrano.
Yeah, there's one in Antechamber. There was one
Wait, so,
in... There's one in Antechamber, one in the Ice Beam lock in Hall of Elders.
Yeah. Oh yes, Watery Hall as well.
Yep. Oh,
Yep.
Lighthouse was one
Yeah.
too. We kept getting taunted with E-Tanks we couldn't see.
Yeah.
On one.
right.
So where did Phazon Suit end up being, by the way?
Boombox.
Oh, that's right. You already said that. Wow.
Yep.
I am really on top of things today, aren't I?
Yeah, we routed down into lower mines after we got so we got plasma in
In
Ruined
right?
Courtyard, and then we pivot saved there, killed Ridley, got the hint for mines, and then went and did lower mines.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah, so I mentioned it like, okay, so scout PCA first. If your suit is there, just beeline it. If not, pick up PPC, and then, we were down to 40 energy, leaving PPC, because Phazon hurts.
Oh, yeah.
It was kind of scuffed there for a little bit, but Kay got out, went back.
I got
up
by
to
on
PPC.
got by on pure adrenaline and made it back to the Magmor save station with 20 health.
Mm-hmm.
I do kind of feel like if you're
Yeah,
if
that
you're gonna
works.
do lower mines first, anyways, I guess I don't see why you would need to scout the lower. Like to me, it would be good if you wanted to do upper mines first to scout the lower and see if you needed to change your strategy. But if you're always gonna do lower, I would just do it.
That's a fair point. Yeah, that's a fair point. I didn't consider that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Kay. I almost got you killed.
Fine.
Came
Any
out
phase on you can walk
Yeah,
away
yeah.
from.
And Kay, I believe you said you're going to upload this to YouTube or whatever.
Yeah, I'll upload it right after this call ends.
Awesome.
Baha, I need to speak with you separately once we're done here as well. Real quick.
This wasn't my work.
No, it's not. No, it's not about. It's not. No, it's not.
Okay.
No, it's not about the seed. There's something else I got to talk to you about real quick.
You can blame Jay for
got
that.
Jay, you rolled us a jet seed that's also energy scarce. How dare you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a weird one.
Getting all 6 artifacts so quickly and then deciding, well, should we kill Ridley? I had 1 energy tank, I think, when I was able to go kill Ridley.
Yeah, when you don't have boost, it's a little sketchy.
I guess this is a Hawk signature seed now. This is
Yeah,
gonna be your
man.
thing.
Both things. Early or easy artifacts. And then it's like, oh yeah, just go fight Ridley with 20 missiles and no E tanks. The one I did last week, I didn't the first time I went in the fight, I had no other beams.
Oh my gosh.
I had charge beam, I had 20 missiles, and I had 1 E tank, I think, and boost. And a dream, yeah.
We saw Ice Spreader in Ice Ruins West, and I was like, I don't have plasma, I can't get that. And then I picked up plasma and then forgot to go back to get it.
Just went.
That's
right by
fine.
it.
Ice Spreader is an option.
It's a fast option. It would have been helpful, but it's all right.
It's alright. You can just neglect Ice Spreader.
That was a fun seed.
Yeah. Anything else you guys want to say? Or shall we wrap things up?
I want to say GG's again to Hawk, and thanks to Leno and Baha for mentoring us. It's always fun.
Yeah, I'll echo that. GG's as well.
And I'm going to shout out
props.
Op
It was a
and
good show.
Sam for doing comms and tracking today. You two rock.
For sure. Yeah. Anytime.
Yeah, thanks everybody.
Yeah, make sure to follow all these folks. I can't really type in Leno's and Baja Bloods things quick enough, but you can find it. Twitch.tv/Baja Blood and Twitch.tv/Lenofus.
I think they're both in chat. You can grab it.
Oh,
we go.
there we go.
There we go.
Well
I
done.
got your back.
Appreciate it, mate. All right, well, I think we'll wrap things up. Thank
Thanks,
you guys
guys.
again.
Yep.
We've got plenty more matches left. Can't wait to see you all in the next races to come. And yeah, we'll see you next mission.